There is a singular, terrifying, and profoundly beautiful threshold that every human being must cross if they wish to experience the absolute understanding of the kingdom. It is a doorway that separates the children of circumstance from the architects of reality. You have spent your life, and indeed the duration of this spiritual journey, learning how to dismantle the chaotic architecture of your past. You have journeyed through the shadowy basements of your subconscious mind. You have defined your quantum identity. You have learned the delicate, receptive art of opening your hands, and you have survived the agonizing biological panic of the void. You have built the energetic capacity to hold the massive frequencies of profound wealth, unshakable peace, and unconditional love. But all of these practices, all of these deep internal clearings, and all of these quantum leaps lead to one ultimate, inescapable destination. They lead to the absolute realization that you are completely, undeniably, and entirely responsible for everything that exists in your holographic reality. Today, we are going to explore the zenith of personal transformation. We are going to dismantle the final, most seductive illusion of the human ego, the illusion of the victim matrix. By the end of this transmission, you will understand the precise physics of spiritual responsibility. You will learn how the universe operates as an unbiased, perfectly fair algorithm that responds flawlessly to your internal data governance. I will guide you through the process of stepping into the supreme operations management of your own soul, where you no longer react to the chaos of the world, but actively dictate the frequency of your environment. This is the integration phase. This is where the knowledge you have acquired becomes the lived, breathing reality of your everyday existence. If you are ready to drop the heavy, exhausting chains of victimhood and step fully into the terrifying glory of your own creative power, I need you to establish your coordinate in the quantum field right now. Go to the comments section and type the word sovereignty. By typing this word, you are taking an aligned action. You are commanding the algorithm of your own cybernetic system to permanently delete the program of the victim. Do this now, and feel the immense weight of blame lift off your shoulders. Since the moment of your birth, you have been conditioned to believe that you are a passive observer in a chaotic, unpredictable universe. You were taught that reality is something that happens to you. If the economy crashes, you are a victim of the financial system. If a relationship fails, you are a victim of someone else's brokenness. If an opportunity passes you by, you are a victim of bad luck or poor timing. This victim mentality is the default operating system of the three-dimensional world. It is a highly engineered matrix, designed to keep humanity locked in a state of low-frequency survival. Why is the victim mentality so seductive? Because it absolves you of responsibility. If your lack of wealth, your lack of peace, and your lack of love are someone else's fault, then your ego is protected. You get to be right, even if you are miserable. But the kingdom of God does not recognize the victim. The field of infinite potential operates on the hermetic principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. The universe is not a chaotic lottery. It is a highly advanced, perfectly precise algorithm of fairness. Think of the quantum field as the ultimate, unbiased credit system of the cosmos. It does not evaluate your worth based on your race, your background, or your past defaults. It evaluates your energetic credit based entirely on the frequency you are broadcasting in this exact millisecond. In the profound studies on cognitive algorithms and the fairness of systemic outcomes conducted by Abraham and Quessy, it becomes undeniably clear that a system can only output an exact, fair reflection of the governing data it receives. If a system is fed corrupted, biased data, it will produce a corrupted, biased outcome. The universe works in the exact same manner. The data you feed into the quantum field, your dominant thoughts, your core emotional baseline, your subconscious assumptions about your own worth, is the governing data of your reality. If your internal data is screaming, "I am a victim, the world is unfair, and I must fight for every scrap of survival," the algorithmic fairness of the universe has no choice but to output a reality that perfectly matches that data. It will serve you experiences that validate your victimhood. It will bring you people who betray you. It will create financial bottlenecks that force you to struggle. The universe is not punishing you. It is simply being fair to your frequency. It is honoring your data. To break free from the victim matrix, you must become the absolute, uncompromising governor of your internal data. You are no longer the stressed, overwhelmed employee of your life, scrambling in the chaotic kitchen of survival. You must elevate yourself to the role of the supreme operations manager. You must become the high-level business analyst of your own spirit. What does it mean to govern the data of your soul? It means you take absolute, radical ownership of every single thought, emotion, and reaction that occurs within your conscious and subconscious mind. When an unexpected bill arrives in the mail, or a client cancels a massive contract, the untrained mind, the mind operating in the victim matrix, immediately generates corrupted data. It produces the frequency of panic, blame, and scarcity. The victim says, "Why is this happening to me? I can never get ahead. The system is rigged." The sovereign creator, the ultimate data governor, observes the exact same external event and runs an entirely different internal algorithm. The sovereign creator says, "This external event is a lagging indicator. It is the echo of an old frequency. I refuse to let this physical illusion dictate my internal state. I am connected to the infinite supply of the Father of Spirit. This contrast is simply providing me with the opportunity to refine my focus and call in a greater level of abundance." End quote. By changing the internal data, the sovereign creator shifts the energetic cause. And because the cause has changed, the effect must change. The algorithmic fairness of the universe registers the high-frequency response of peace and certainty, and it immediately begins to reorganize the external environment to deliver the solution, the new client, or the unexpected windfall. This level of governance requires immense spiritual stamina. It means you can no longer indulge in the toxic luxury of complaining. You can no longer bond with others over mutual trauma or shared grievances. You must provide the ultimate hospitality to your own spirit, ensuring that the environment of your mind is pristine, elevated, and aligned with the absolute truth of the kingdom. If you are recognizing the places in your life where you have allowed corrupted data to govern your outcomes, if you are ready to fire the victim mentality and assume the executive role of your own consciousness, I need you to hit the subscribe button right now. Turn on the notification bell. In a world that is constantly trying to feed you the data of fear and powerlessness, this channel serves as your primary data sanctuary. By subscribing, you are establishing a firewall around your mind, ensuring that the input you receive is strictly aligned with your highest potential. When you fully accept this radical responsibility, you experience a profound paradigm shift. You realize that the very power that was creating your misery is the exact same power that can create your paradise. The great teachings of the Christ consciousness state, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." What is the truth? The truth is that you are not separate from the source. You are an extension of the infinite. You are the localized awareness of the quantum field experiencing itself. When you know this truth, you are set free. But this freedom is not a passive vacation. True freedom carries a magnificent burden. It is the burden of knowing that there is absolutely no one else to blame. There is no savior coming to rescue you from the outside, because the savior is already enthroned within you. Imagine walking the halls of a massive institution, perhaps a high school in Riverside, feeling completely at the mercy of the bells, the rigid schedules, the teachers, and the systemic rules. You feel small. You feel dictated to. But what if, suddenly, you were handed the master keys to the entire institution? What if you were told that you are not a student bound by the curriculum, but the master architect who designed the building? At first, the realization is terrifying. Without the rules, without the teachers to blame for your failures, you stand naked in the light of your own limitless potential. The structure you used to hide behind is gone. This is the exact identity dissonance that occurs when you cross the final threshold into sovereignty. When facing the monumental union of your highest unified self, the old isolated ego will throw tantrums. It will generate a creeping, icy numbness. It will try to convince you that this freedom is too heavy, too vast, and too lonely. It will beg you to return to the familiar, chaotic comfort of being a victim. You must not retreat. The numbness is not a sign of failure. It is the friction of the old operating system being permanently uninstalled. You must sit in the center of that vast, terrifying freedom and claim it. Consider the archetype of the fully awakened creator, Let us call her Kate. When she walks into a room, she does not demand respect. Her frequency commands it. She does not manipulate the environment to feel safe. She brings safety into the environment through the sheer coherence of her own energetic field. She does not hope for a good outcome. She governs the algorithmic data of her soul with such precision that a good outcome is the only mathematical possibility. She has embraced the burden of freedom, and in doing so, she has become a master of the physical world. As you step into this absolute responsibility, manifestation ceases to be a parlor trick. It ceases to be a desperate attempt to attract money, cars, or relationships to fill an internal void. Manifestation becomes the natural, effortless byproduct of a perfectly governed soul. When your internal world is anchored in the absolute understanding of the Father of Spirit, your baseline frequency is righteousness, peace, and joy. You no longer seek these states in the external world. You generate them internally and project them outward. You realize that the kingdom of heaven is not a destination in the afterlife. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is here. It is the quantum field. It is the space of infinite potential that exists in the millimeter of silence between your thoughts. When you want to change your life, you no longer attack the physical world with forced effort. You do not grind yourself into a state of biological depletion. You retreat into the silence. You close your eyes, and you enter the vast, velvety darkness of the void. You pull your energy back from the lagging indicators of your circumstances, and you invest all of your attention into the present moment. You review the data of your consciousness. You identify the fears, the doubts, and the lingering shadows of the victim, and you transmute them with the blinding light of your own awareness. You open your hands, not to beg, but to receive the inheritance that has been waiting for your frequency to match it. And then, you take aligned action. You move through the world not as a beggar, but as a king or queen. You speak with the quiet, unshakable authority of someone who knows that the universe is conspiring in their favor. You offer the ultimate hospitality to everyone you meet, because you recognize that they, too, are extensions of the source, struggling to remember their own sovereignty. The most magnificent aspect of assuming your sovereign responsibility is that your transformation is never an isolated event. In the quantum field, all particles are entangled. Every shift in your frequency creates a massive ripple effect across the entire grid of human consciousness. When you refuse to operate as a victim, you break generational chains of trauma. When you govern your internal data with absolute love and peace, you dismantle the algorithms of fear that govern the collective. You become a tuning fork for the planet. There are people in your life right now who are desperate for permission to step out of the matrix of survival. They are watching you. They are feeling the shift in your resonance. When they see you walk through the fire of the three-dimensional world without losing your peace, when they see the miraculous, sudden quantum leaps that occur in your life as a result of your alignment, their own biological algorithms will begin to rewrite themselves. Your freedom becomes the catalyst for their liberation. If you are grasping the monumental importance of your own energetic coherence, if you understand that your peace is a global responsibility, I need you to share this transmission. Send this video to the people in your sphere of influence who are ready to hear the truth. By sharing this, you are actively expanding the network of sovereign beings. You are casting a net of high-frequency data across the digital landscape, accelerating the awakening of the collective. You have reached the end of the search. You have consumed the knowledge. You have understood the science, and you have felt the profound resonance of the ancient mysticism. There is nothing left to learn that will save you. There is only what you are willing to apply. The era of waiting is over. You are no longer waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect economy, or the perfect relationship to validate your worth. The Father of Spirit has already validated you. The field is already pregnant with your highest potential. The algorithmic fairness of the cosmos is standing by, waiting for you to input the data of your own mastery. Take a deep, deliberate breath right now. Draw the air down into the absolute center of your being. Feel the profound, limitless power that resides in your chest. Drop the heavy, exhausting story of the victim. Drop the blame. Drop the excuses. They are too heavy for the dimension you are entering. Assume the throne of your own consciousness. Govern your data. Protect your frequency. Walk in the unshakable peace of the finished work, and watch as the physical universe bows to the sovereign authority of a fully awakened soul. To seal this final integration, to formally log your data into the quantum field, go to the comments one last time and type the declaration, "I am the Creator." Like this video to leave your energetic signature on this frequency. Subscribe to ensure your continuous alignment. The kingdom is not coming, the kingdom is here, and you are the key. Walk in your absolute freedom, and let the magnificent reality you have designed in the dark finally step into the light. There comes a moment in every authentic spiritual journey when the seeker quietly disappears. Not because they have failed, not because they have given up, but because there is nothing left to seek. For so long you searched for another book, another teacher, another revelation, another hidden frequency, another mystical experience that promised to unlock the life you believed had been withheld from you. You imagined that somewhere beyond the horizon was the missing answer that would finally make everything click into place. Yet every genuine path eventually arrives at the same breathtaking conclusion. You were never searching for knowledge. You were searching for permission. Permission to trust yourself. Permission to stop doubting. Permission to become the person you already sensed you were created to be. Now, standing at the conclusion of this journey, you can finally see what has always been true. Every chapter you have read has not been building something new inside you. It has been removing everything that prevented you from seeing what was already there. Like a sculptor revealing the masterpiece hidden inside a block of marble, every lesson has chipped away fear. It removed blame. It removed scarcity. It removed false identity. It removed inherited limitations. It removed the exhausting need to earn what was already freely given. What remains is astonishingly simple: awareness, presence, authority, love. These are not qualities you acquire. They are qualities you uncover. The greatest deception humanity has ever accepted is the belief that transformation requires becoming someone else. Real transformation is remembering who you have always been beneath every layer of conditioning. The child who once believed anything was possible. The soul that arrived without shame. The consciousness untouched by failure. The divine spark that existed before the world handed you labels. Long before anyone told you who you should become, you already were. This realization changes everything. Because once identity changes, behavior follows naturally. You no longer force discipline. You embody consistency. You no longer chase confidence. You express certainty. You no longer attempt to become peaceful. You protect the peace that has become your nature. This is why the kingdom cannot be manufactured through effort. It can only be revealed through surrender. Many people misunderstand surrender. They imagine weakness. They imagine giving up control. The opposite is true. True surrender is releasing the illusion that fear ever had authority over you. It is laying down the exhausting burden of pretending that the limited personality is responsible for carrying the infinite weight of existence. The river never struggles to reach the ocean. The sun never worries whether it will rise tomorrow. A tree never questions whether it deserves to bear fruit. Creation itself operates without anxiety. Only the conditioned human mind believes that struggle is necessary for fulfillment. Once this illusion dissolves, life begins flowing differently. You notice opportunities that were always present. You recognize people whose wisdom was hidden beneath ordinary conversations. You discover solutions before problems fully develop. What changed? The world did not suddenly become generous. Your perception became aligned. The frequency you broadcast became coherent. The kingdom that always surrounded you became visible, because your internal vision finally matched it. This is why awakened living appears miraculous to those still trapped inside survival consciousness. From the outside, they see coincidences. Doors opening unexpectedly. Financial breakthroughs arriving without predictable explanation. Relationships healing after years of conflict. Perfect timing. Impossible encounters. Creative inspiration appearing out of nowhere. They call it luck. They call it fate. They call it coincidence, but you understand something different. Coherence produces clarity. Clarity produces aligned action. Aligned action produces extraordinary outcomes. The miracle is not that reality changed. The miracle is that your consciousness stopped resisting it. As you continue walking this path, another profound realization begins to emerge. Your life is no longer about you. This statement initially sounds contradictory. After spending so much time learning responsibility for your own consciousness, why would the journey suddenly stop being personal? Because genuine awakening always expands beyond the individual. The light was never given simply so you could enjoy it. It was entrusted to you so others could find their way home. Think of a lighthouse standing upon the edge of a violent coastline. The lighthouse does not chase ships. It does not plead with sailors. It does not force anyone toward safety. It simply stands. It remains illuminated. Its unwavering presence silently transforms darkness into direction. That is your new assignment. Not convincing, not arguing, not proving. Simply becoming so internally stable that your existence itself becomes permission for others to remember their own greatness. People will begin asking what changed. Some will notice your peace before they notice your success. Others will recognize your patience before they recognize your wisdom. Many will never understand why they feel calmer simply by being around you. Do not rush to explain. Your life will speak louder than your words ever could. The highest teaching is demonstration. The greatest sermon is embodiment. The most convincing evidence is consistency. Anyone can speak beautifully for an hour. Very few people radiate peace during disappointment. Anyone can declare abundance while circumstances are favorable. Very few remain grateful when visible evidence temporarily disappears. Anyone can proclaim love when relationships are easy. Very few choose compassion when misunderstood. This is where mastery becomes visible, not in extraordinary moments, in ordinary ones. How you respond when no one is watching. How you speak to yourself after making a mistake. How you treat strangers who have nothing to offer you. How quickly you forgive. How deeply you listen. How courageously you remain authentic when conformity would feel easier. These are the invisible decisions that shape extraordinary lives. Every seemingly insignificant choice becomes another vote for the identity you are creating. Eventually, those votes become habits. Those habits become character. Character becomes destiny, and destiny becomes legacy. Most people think legacy begins after death. That is another illusion. Legacy begins every morning. Every interaction leaves an imprint upon another human consciousness. Every smile, every encouraging word, every act of patience, every refusal to participate in gossip, every moment you choose forgiveness instead of revenge, every time you respond with wisdom instead of reaction. These moments ripple farther than you will ever witness. Perhaps someone leaves your presence feeling seen for the first time in years. Perhaps a child observes how calmly you navigate difficulty and unconsciously adopts that emotional blueprint for the rest of their life. Perhaps a discouraged stranger decides not to abandon hope because your kindness interrupted their despair. You may never know. You do not need to know. The farmer does not dig up seeds every morning to check whether they are growing. They trust the process. The awakened soul lives the same way. Plant generously. Love freely. Serve quietly. Trust deeply. Allow eternity to handle the harvest. Eventually, you realize something even more astonishing. The freedom you once fought to protect has become effortless. Not because life stopped presenting challenges. Challenges continue. Loss still visits. Uncertainty still appears. Change remains constant. But none of these experiences possess the authority they once held. Storms still move across the sky. The sky itself remains untouched. Thoughts still arise. Awareness remains undisturbed. Circumstances continue changing. Your identity no longer changes with them. This is spiritual maturity. Not controlling experience. Remaining centered regardless of experience. Now imagine millions of individuals making this same shift. Imagine families governed by peace instead of fear. Businesses led by integrity instead of greed. Communities built upon cooperation instead of competition. Leaders motivated by service instead of power. This is how civilizations transform, not through force, through consciousness. Every lasting revolution begins invisibly. Long before systems change, people change. Long before cultures evolve, individuals awaken. Long before history records visible victories, invisible hearts quietly choose courage over fear. Never underestimate the significance of your own transformation. The collective is nothing more than countless individual consciousnesses interacting simultaneously. Heal one consciousness, and the collective shifts. Heal another, then another, then another. The ripple becomes a wave. The wave becomes a movement. The movement becomes a new world. This is why your responsibility extends far beyond personal success. Your peace is contagious. Your courage is instructional. Your integrity is magnetic. Your joy is revolutionary. The world does not desperately need more information. It needs living examples. It needs ordinary people demonstrating extraordinary consciousness in everyday life. It needs mothers raising children without passing down inherited fear. It needs fathers modeling emotional strength rooted in compassion rather than domination. It needs entrepreneurs proving that prosperity and integrity can coexist. It needs artists creating beauty that reminds humanity of its forgotten soul. It needs neighbors choosing understanding over division. It needs you. Not a perfected version, not a flawless version. The authentic version, the present version, the courageous version willing to continue growing. There will still be days when old thoughts attempt to return. Old fears may knock upon the door. Ancient patterns may whisper familiar stories. Smile when they arrive. You know them now. You are no longer fooled by them. A cloud passing through the sky does not become the sky. A passing thought does not become your identity. Observe, breathe, release, return to the truth, again and again, until returning becomes more natural than resisting. Eventually you stop asking whether you are awakened, because awakening ceases to be an event. It becomes a way of living. You stop measuring spiritual progress through dramatic, mystical experiences. Instead, you notice quieter miracles. You become less reactive, more compassionate, less anxious, more grateful, less defensive, more generous, less distracted, more present. These are the unmistakable fingerprints of genuine transformation. The soul has become spacious enough for love to move without obstruction. And perhaps that is the greatest miracle of all. Not walking on water, but walking through ordinary life carrying extraordinary peace. Not escaping the world, but blessing the world through your presence within it. Not becoming someone admired from a distance, but becoming someone whose quiet authenticity reminds others of their own forgotten brilliance. As this final chapter closes, understand that no ending is actually taking place, only another beginning. Close this book if you wish. Set aside these words. Return to your responsibilities. Go back to your family, your work, your dreams, your daily routines. But do not return as the person who first began reading. Return as someone who remembers. Remember that your consciousness is creative. Remember that your peace is powerful. Remember that your love is stronger than fear. Remember that your presence matters more than your performance. Remember that the kingdom has never been absent. It has patiently waited behind every thought, every breath, every moment of stillness, inviting you to recognize what has always been available. Walk forward with quiet confidence. Govern your inner world with wisdom. Protect your attention as though it were the most valuable resource you possess, because it is. Choose thoughts worthy of the future you wish to inhabit. Choose words that create life. Choose actions that reflect the truth you now know. And when uncertainty appears, return to the silence. The answers have never lived outside of you. They never will. One day, perhaps years from now, someone will ask you how your life changed. They will expect you to describe a single dramatic moment. A miracle, a breakthrough, a secret. You may simply smile, because you will know the truth. Everything changed the day you accepted complete responsibility for your consciousness. Everything changed the day you stopped waiting for permission. Everything changed the day you remembered that freedom was never something to achieve. Freedom was always your original nature. Carry that remembrance into every room you enter, into every conversation you have, into every decision you make. Become the living evidence that a human being aligned with truth can transform not only their own life, but the lives of everyone fortunate enough to encounter their light. The journey is complete. The practice has just begun. Walk in freedom, walk in wisdom, walk in love, and let your life become the final chapter that no book could ever fully write.